Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today we're gonna talk about a couple of exercises which an athlete must be doing during a lockdown. And the reason why they're important is basically prevent or reduce the chances of them getting injured once they start playing again. And these exercises which I'm going to be showing you today are very or highly specific to sporting conditions, like being explosive, like able to produce a lot of force in short period of time. And those will include like plyos, ankle jumps and drop jumps and all those, with variations here and there to create that or stimulate the sporting environment. So the first exercise is ankle hops. And in ankle hops, basically what we are trying to achieve is try to jump as high as possible with minimal knee flexion, but at the same time our jump height should be as high as possible. So basically the amount of time where your foot is in contact with the ground should be very less. The reason is we want to build that explosiveness into the muscles, and considering during lockdown most of us might not have gym equipments. Even I don't have. Plyometrics is one of the key exercises that you could be doing right now to generate or to help build the explosiveness that you're lacking. And for the second exercise, these I call them as hip drives or knee drives. Basically this is a unilateral exercise which is going to promote your eccentric control of your hamstring and stabilizing part from your gluteus medius. And so what you do is you go into that bird position, I say it as bird position, and from there you drive your other hip and as fast as possible. Again, it's preparing your central nervous system to fire up the neurons and activate the muscles which are required. During this exercise, make sure your core doesn't rotate. Like mostly what happens is when you're in that bird position, when your back is flat, sometimes because the gluteus medius is not able to hold your hip, your pelvis, instead of being straight, it will tilt like this, or like suppose if you're standing on your left leg, then it will bend toward your right side. The hip will tilt on the right side. So the next movement is basically just ham curls, and what I've done is I've got two towel pieces and put them on the floor, and just put your put your heel on the floor and just slide through that. So what happens is the towel decreases the friction between the ground, so your leg slips. So you have to control the eccentric portion, and then you have to bring the towel back towards you. So that's basically hamstring curl. So in the next exercise, what we are doing is we are in the hamstring curl position, but instead of curling it all the way through, we just go into that eccentric portion and we just fixate our leg at a lengthened state of our hamstring. So when our leg is away from our body, we just hold it there and try to produce as much as force as possible. So my heel is constantly pushing down the floor. I'm trying to produce as much as force as possible from my hamstrings during that time. And again, my hips are not on the floor, they are in the air, and I'm producing force with the hamstrings, and the towel won't come back this time. And for the next exercise, what we're gonna do is again hamstring curl, but it's gonna be very rapid. The concentric part of the motion is very fast, and eccentric part of the motion is very slow. But the part is it has to be done on single leg. So again, your hip should not rotate either side. It should be stable, and then you have to produce as much force as possible. The next exercise is calf raise. So before you start doing calf raise, what you have to be clear about is when you're doing a calf raise, your foot shouldn't go into external rotation, or it shouldn't supinate. So now when we are doing a calf raise, the first stage is you are on both the feet and you go all the way down and you go all the way up. So what happens is most of the people do it on just floor, like there's no depth available. So what happens is you will be doing the concentric part, which is basically when you're pushing it up, but your heels needs to go down as well to stretch the muscle fibers. That is one of the crucial part. And so that's why when you're doing calf raise, make sure either you're on a staircase or on some ledge. Make sure it's not a roof ledge. Do it somewhere safe. And yeah, once you're okay with calf raise on both the legs, then you do calf raise on single leg. Again, the same concept. Okay, so for this exercise, basically the goal for this exercise is to increase the time under tension for quadriceps muscle, for hamstring muscle, or for the lower body, or for every muscle which is involved. Go as slow as possible, go till 90 degrees of knee flexion, and then suddenly come up, explode while you come up. The goal is to come as fast as possible, to recruit the fast twitch fibers and to create the explosiveness in the muscle. So the first exercise is razor curls. This is for the eccentric part of the hamstrings. So how to do is, keep your back flat and hinge from the hip. So this is how it's gonna look. Go slow, 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 hold, explode back up. Okay, slow, slow, go slowly, explode. Slow, 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 explode. Now if this is easier for you, the next progression to this is Nordic ham curls. So which is basically, instead of hinging or bending from the hip, now your whole body from your knee till your shoulder will be one single piece and it will move as one segment. And I can't do it properly because I don't have enough strength for that, but I'm going to show you how it's going to look. So basically, straight line and go down, 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 down. So try to control the eccentric portion when you're falling down towards the floor. Try to control it or slow yourself down as much as possible. And once you can't control, let go of yourself onto the floor and just do a push-up from there. So go down, go, go, go. Okay, slow, 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 down. So now we're gonna do a drop jump, but one is in just one single plane, that is the sagittal plane. But like most of our exercises are done in sagittal plane, but as an athlete you need to be trained in multiple planes. What I mean by that is, suppose you are doing a squat. This squat is in sagittal plane. You are just facing the ball and just doing it. But in sports, very rarely things happen in just one single plane. Like sometimes you'll move side to side, or you'll move like while you are in the air you will rotate. So we are going to try and mimic those movements. So first is the normal drop jump. For normal drop jump, you just go and jump. But now what we are going to do is add rotation to that movement. I'm going to go this. So it increases your spatial awareness while you are in the air, and it helps with the landing. So again, basically up. And now we're going to go into a drop jump and then split stance. So So all these are high velocity movements, power movements, which happens very frequent in sports. And considering we all are under lockdown, and if you don't have any equipments, these are the exercises which you can do to at least prevent or reduce the chances of getting injured once you're back on the field. Now you have seen we have targeted the calf muscle, the quadriceps, the hamstrings, a lot of eccentrics, isometrics and concentric motions. But there's one thing we cannot leave is Copenhagen addiction. What is this Copenhagen addiction? So basically what you're trying to do is target our adductor muscles, the inner thigh muscles, which are most oftenly left out. So this is Copenhagen addiction exercise for the groin area and for the adductor muscles. So it has multiple levels. So first we'll start is we'll keep the knee on the top, because by this keeping the knee on the top will reduce the lever systems and it will put much less force on the groin area. So lift up on the knee, close this leg, and it's a side plank position. Keep your hips in level with the shoulder, and the lower leg should be in touch with the stool. And hold this position. Hold this for 15 to 30 seconds. And if this one is easier for you, then you need to progress maybe halfway till your shin bone. From here, halfway up, same thing. And if this is easier, then you go and place the ankle, just the ankle on the stool, and go into the side plank position, up, again, maintain the whole body straight. So these were the exercises which you must do. Like there are other couple of exercises that you can do, but these are the ones that you cannot leave. And one thing I forgot to do is, like, if you have a space available to yourself, then sprint. You have to do sprint. And if you are a footballer or a basketballer or any of those sports which involve sprinting, do sprint if you have free available space, because that's the only thing. Like, you cannot replace sprinting with any other exercise. So sprint. And if you enjoyed this video, give a thumbs up, like this video, share, comment, and just share this video across any platform, or just have fun, do these exercises, and let me know how were all these videos. And I'll see you next time. Until then, bye bye.
We were traveling the mountains.